I heard that some of the commentators over there actually said before the fight that it was, I can't believe I'm quoting this is a direct quote, but I heard some of the commentators actually say before the fight that it was brave of Joshua to take a last-minute replacement and not just pull out of the fight. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Do they really fully understand that Joshua was getting paid millions of dollars to fight, and he would have not been paid if he didn't? I mean,
how you Teddy? You really think money had anything to do with this? Don't be so naive. Come on.
I mean, it's not like, number one, like he was doing it for free, or he was getting, he wasn't getting paid, and the money was going to a children's hospital. All right, brave. Number two, it wasn't brave of him. It's not like he was fighting Joe Louis, or for that matter, even Jerry Lewis.
Or Andy Ruiz.
Andy Ruiz, the second version of Ruiz when he was almost 300 pounds and he beat him. But he was fighting a guy who 2 fights ago was knocked out in 1 round by Wilder. Wilder's people handpicked him to come back with, after a year's layoff, after being KO'd and badly beaten up by Tyson Fury. It's the same reason that you guys, the Joshua's people, okayed Helenius as a replacement for White. It's the same reason. Listen, I know you want him to be what you want him to be. Who has he ever beaten to have gained the stature that he's been given over there? Charles Martin? All right. And a 288-pound Ruiz in a rematch after Ruiz knocked him out when he took the fight on 2 weeks' notice or less. A cruiserweight beat him 2 times. I know Usyk, right? His only real win was over. Hey, you guys are forcing me to go down this litany of stuff. You're forcing me to do it. But I'll go down there quick. His only real win was over a 40-plus year old Klitschko who dropped him. And for that resume, he has the gall. And this didn't bother you a little bit? Really? Really, you guys? And I have nothing but love for you. You're great fans. But for him to say on the telly, as you say over there, the telly, he said after the fight that his back was hurting him. Oh, and he went like this. Oh, Ken, my back is hurting me from carrying the heavyweight division. Are you kidding me? How you people sat there and allowed him to say that? Really? Joshua was tentative. It took him 7 rounds to finally get up the confidence to simply move forward with a couple jabs and throw the right hand and go home. I mean, he could have done that same thing at any time. He had a very tall guy who keeps his head up in the air like a lantern in a storm, it's like a target is on it. He pulls back straight, presenting this huge target to hit, like a bullseye on a dartboard. You Brits should understand something about dartboards, right? Darts is a big thing over there. And I know you got one over there in a couple of the pubs with my picture on it. All right, okay. All right, all love. Just don't hit me in the eyes, please. Really, I don't know what else to say. It took him 7 rounds to simply do that against the guy they brought in. Let me reiterate that. They brought him in to be knocked out. Yeah, I know he set it up beautifully. Joshua set it up beautifully with 2 jabs low to his body, dropping Helenius' eye contact, eye level, so that he'd never see the right hand coming up top. Okay, I'm telling you, okay, great. Good job. But with this guy that he had in front of him, All you needed to do was press forward with 2 jabs and then the right hand and go take a shower. And like I said, have a pint, with some of your mates. Oh, boy. And he should have a pint with you. Because you guys...
What are you talking about? He did. He
is.
Came out and Conor McGregor gave him no choice but to dump a beer down his throat. It was one of the most awkward product placements in the history of marketing.
Well, you know what else he should do? I'm not trying to spend anyone's money, but he should also go into the local pub and buy everybody a pint. I think he can afford it. Ken, you think he can afford it? You're a financial guy. I think he can afford it.
I'm pretty sure, right?
Yeah. And you know what? Maybe it'll make his back feel better, right? Maybe it'll loosen up. Look, you actually... I can't believe it. Is he serious with that?
I'm pretty sure he's dead serious. I'm sure he believes that.
That he carries the heavyweight division? You fought and you lost to Usyk because you had to. It's not like you chose him. He was a mandatory, I believe. And so you had to fight him. And then, of course, you lose, you have to fight the rematch. So how have you been carrying the division? Really, if we're going to speak the truth here, right? It was Fury who actually got in the ring with the biggest puncher in the heavyweight division. And matter of fact, in boxing, period. Pound for pound, ounce for ounce, Wilder's the biggest puncher in boxing. And Fury got in the ring with him 3 times. So maybe he should be the one going to the chiropractor to get his back fixed for carrying the heavyweight division, right? Maybe he should be. Final analysis, Ken. Joshua was, for the first 4 rounds, he was so tentative. He was pushing his jab, reaching in with his right hand. As I said before, all he had to do was step in with 2 jabs and a right hand at any time, and Helenius was going down. So I know you don't want to be reckless. I know you want to be thoughtful. I know you want to be smart. I know you have a new trainer. I get it. But really, I also do get it. Everything is relative. And it's relative to who he was in there with. And with this guy, after round or 2, you should have saw that. So, enough said. This yank is done. Okay? All right? And by the way, Joshua's going to be paid $60 million to fight Wilder if they do actually fight.
That's what I want to get your thoughts on a potential Wilder-Joshua fight in December in Saudi Arabia. What happens and who wins?
Yeah, if it or December or January. I think they're talking about January, whatever. But, one thing I'll tell you, if the fight does happen, Joshua can buy a new back with $60 million. He can buy a new back. And all the millions that he's already made, in his career. God bless him. But listen, God bless Eddie Hearn and his promotional company that helped make him and promote him and build him up to make all this money. So listen, at the end of the day, he goes to the desert. He's going to wind up getting $60 million. At the very least, he can get a camel while he's over there to help him carry whatever he's got to carry. At the very least. And I don't know what it would cost to ship a camel back. But again, with $60 million and the tens of millions that he's already made, I think he can afford it.
What happens in that fight?
One of 2 things. Wilder goes after him early because that's why Wilder can't fight, but he can punch. And he's got heart. And so does Joshua. But Wilder's got heart. And he's gotten off the floor before, as Joshua has. And but he's taken a terrible beat in the last couple of fights with Fury. I don't know what he's got left. I know he knocked out Helenius, but it was Helenius in 1 round. In a real fight, I don't know how much was taken out of him from those beatings that he took in the last 2 fights with Fury. But I know he's got heart. I know he can punch like hell. And but his technique is horrible. He's all over the place. But he doesn't waste time. He'll probably go out there. Although he's got a new trainer the last couple of fights in Malik Scott, who's trying to make him a little bit more patient, make him more of a boxer, make him more responsible, make him technically better. So maybe he will be a little more patient. He was a little more patient with Helenius, and then he scored the knockout. So one of two things is going to happen. He's going to go out there, and he's going to be less tentative than Joshua, and he's going to land the punch first, because it's going to come down to who lands first. He's going to land the punch first, and I think he's got a better chin than Joshua at the end of the day. And he'll land the punch first, and it'll be all over. Or he'll walk into something. He'll go out there, and Joshua, knows how to counter, and his temperament is more to counter now, not to be aggressive, not to really take chances. He's more comfortable countering. And his trainer, he's got a good new trainer too, a good trainer. They will probably look to try to set a trap and catch Wilder coming in with something wide open, and beat him to it, punch in between a wide punch, or just make a miss and counter him. And so that's my prediction, and I think it's a good one, where you're going to get Joshua looking to set a trap, laying back a little bit, which he's very good at doing now, right? He's comfortable doing that, and catch Wilder coming in. Or Wilder's going to use that long, as long as a phone pole jab, and set up the right hand and go out there and catch Joshua again, like he was the other night, still a little tentative, and not give him a chance to gain his confidence, get into a rhythm, and end it before he can ever get started. The only fly in the ointment or X factor for me is how much Malik Scott has changed Wilder, his temperament, his mentality, and his technique. Where if he's made him into a more stable boxer, if you will, then it might take a minute. Because if he's more patient, Joshua's going to be patient. Oh, my God. So at the end of the day, it might not be the thunderstorm you think you're going to get. It might not be. It might not be. Either way, it could go either way, but I'll wind up saying Wilder.